All right, everybody, we're back with some more D&D shenanigans.
More of the
I
same
think
bullshit.
oh yeah, we're all very excited to be here, and we're all having a blast. But I guess
If you
something that I
hear
wanna-
sudden random cursing, that's just me trying to figure out sound systems.
yeah,
Fair.
Sorry.
I
Or
understand
Cardinal Call of Duty.
that. Before we begin though, I do want to make a real quick I want to point something out really quick just because it's ironic that it's today and that we're streaming today, so I'm gonna say it. Today is the 22nd year anniversary of the invention of Google. So
Wait, what?
Yes.
Hey, Google
22
birthday.
Happy birthday,
22
Google!
Yeah.
Yay.
22 years ago, in September 4th, 1998, Google was invented. So, if you're
Wow.
out there and you're
That's cool.
22 years old as of today, you are older than Google. Congratulations.
Oh my god.
Now you can feel old.
I remember
At
when
least-
Google
at
was
least
invented.
if
Oh.
At least if you're listening to us, you should be older than Google.
Well,
There.
Oh,
Maybe
That-
close to.
maybe close to. Like,
I mean,
maybe 4
I'm
years
pretty
younger.
sure-
So.
I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest member of our group, and I'm older than Google, so we'll let it slide.
And I'm probably the oldest then.
I don't know.
At almost 30.
How old are you?
Yeah, you
29.
Yeah, you're just slightly older than me.
I'm
You're
26.
not part of this party, Aubrey.
No, I'm not, but I'm old.
She's like, but I'm the oldest one here. You're not playing.
The oldest person.
In the room, yes. But you're not a player on our stream, so sorry. You were just heard of
I
in
was gonna-
spirits.
I was gonna say, I'm like, Rona, you and Rom are gonna be running a little bit close to one another. I know you guys are about the same age, so I wasn't too far off.
But do we act about the same age?
Yes, absolutely. You both act like you're 14.
Oh,
fair.
14. Well,
I am
Okay, fair enough.
I still
That's
giggle
how
I'll
at
accept
the,
14. He thinks I act like a
I still giggle at the word boobs.
I mean, don't we all?
What?
I
What was that about boobs?
I thought that
I
was
heard
just
boobs.
part of being a dude.
I didn't hear anything else. I just heard boobs and my ears perked up. Huh?
Maggie.
uh, can you just tell this is a stream of all dudes?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, I wanted to point that out because I thought it was a neat little fact, and just because it happened to be today of all things, I figured that would be a little bit of fun facts that I would share with the world, and whether
So
they
please,
wanted to hear
Google,
it or not.
feature us. Feature us. Trending searches.
I think sponsor is the word you're looking for there, buddy.
Either way.
So. So. Last week, the party managed to avoid death sentencing in their time spent in jail. Their time in jail was very brief, pretty much just it was probably about a 12-ish hour period of time that they stayed in jail and questioned by the guard captain and then released with an apology. And that was about it. During that time,
Yep.
the messenger, had sent for counsel with the leader of this town. the party reconvened out with Otta eventually after clearing their names, where they began to go around the city, both to the they went to the magic store and the library. The library being the Cap, ran by a human male named Dunce, who sent them.
Oh yeah, dunce.
Who sent them to the respected areas of the library where they could find the information if he had it for them to read. The party then continued to the magic shop, acquiring some health potions and resupplying some of their magical supplies as well. The store named the Lame Wizard, ran by a Yuan-Ti male individual, whom nobody got their name. And on the way out of the magic store, Katya received a
That's me.
mental message from their father, basically asking where they were, if they were safe, and praying for their safety, as they're unsure whether or not the message would arrive. And so that is where we reconvene today. You guys are currently standing on the city streets, where it is fairly busy today, as you guys are in the capital. And this message jumps into your head, Katya.
Now Katya is going.
You do have the luxury of replying to the message.
Right. So, at that before I got that message, Katya was actually walking with the group, and then when that hit, he froze and stiffened up out of surprise. And then just standing there, he replies with these exact words: "Father, I am fine. There are other islands. I have been brought to one somehow. Currently searching for a way home with companions. Love you." Now, because it is inside of his head, nobody else hears this. And it is also the voice of Katya internally, so his father hears the female voice.
I want to double check and make sure that's how that spell works.
I don't know.
Vocal.
If it's vocal, then I say it out loud and he hears a man's voice, which is only going to raise more questions that he can't respond to. Probably already spent his life savings on the first one. Let's see, what is it called? Sending? Maybe?
I would say you can communicate that way, because the way the way the spell works is you have the creature has to be able to at least understand a language, and it does say the creature hears the message in their mind, recognizes you as its sender, and can answer in a like manner immediately.
There we go.
So I would say you can do that.
Perfect.
You can respond in your head. However, because you do kind of stop in place, I would say Valinar would probably pick up on it just because of his high passive perception.
Right.
Wait, so I actually noticed Katya just stop.
Yeah, you kind of see him stop and probably would
And
hear
it looks like he's staring off.
text.
Yeah, and then he looks like he's staring off into space momentarily.
Katya, like waving his hand in front of Katya's face.
And after he sends this message, which doesn't take too long, he shakes his head and looks around. What?
What are you doing?
Oh, nothing. I just I realized something. Not important. Let's move on.
Okay.
And then he's gonna catch up with the rest of the group.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. I believe you guys were heading towards the Crown District. Yes. In order to meet with Vom today, the leader of the city. So, you guys begin heading towards the centermost part of this large town. You guys realize that this is the capital for a reason.
What's that reason?
The city itself takes quite a bit of time to traverse to the next layer, the next wards. You, after probably 20 to 30 minutes of walking through busy streets, you eventually begin to see these large walls. I mean, you saw these walls in the distance when you first entered the common ward here, but the entire time you were walking towards them, they never seem to be getting any closer to you until you get to a point where the buildings stop, and there's probably maybe 120 feet or so of just open space between where the buildings end and where the next wall stands. This wall that divides the common ward to the with the royal ward. The buildings kind
That's
of
a bit
as
excessive.
the buildings, as you have begun to get closer and closer to the royal ward here, have begun to get nicer and taller. By the time you at the front, near the front of the town, most buildings were a singular story, maybe two, but they were crude looking. As you get closer to this wall here, these last buildings are probably 3 or 4 stories high and are made out of carved stone and with wooden inlays to frame the building itself. And a lot of the, storefronts here are very magnificent in design. And
That's
all
more
the
like it.
while, you can kind of see up in the air these griffin riders flying above the city, patrolling.
I'm a little nervous now.
They've been above you this entire time, but
Yeah, but now that they're more
They're-
prominent.
as you guys kind of come to a momentary pause in your adventure towards the gates, you guys can kind of see this area where you aren't quite sure why they have this large area of just kind of nothing before the next gate, and the uneasiness of the griffin riders populating the air above you. Ada kind of takes a shaky breath and just, well, come on now, and begins to take a few steps forward.
Just like that? We could just walk in?
So you guys are about 120 feet away from the gate at the moment, the wall, the next wall at the moment.
Nothing in between us and the wall.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
go
about it,
through
right
the
here.
wall.
I turn to Odd and ask, so what's with this large gap?
Well, I think it originally it was made for preventing commoners and other riffraff from causing trouble with the the upper districts, allowing for the upper wards, allowing for a little bit of a range to be so that individuals couldn't just get the drop on the individuals guarding the ward gates. But why it has continued to be such a fuss, I don't know.
If you ask me, it's all about presentation.
Perhaps. You guys continue to walk, and you guys notice that the guards notice you kind of immediately, because you guys are not. Let's see. I think, Valinar, what is your passive perception?
15.
15?
15, 1-5.
Okay.
I mean, same.
Yeah. You guys, like, you and Cardin are definitely probably the most observant at this point, just kind of watching and being curious as to what might happen. But the individuals at the wall, they seem to be alert and ready, but not poised, if that makes sense.
So it's like the inner wall dudes on Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
That's just like the closest thing I can come up with.
Yep. You guys begin to approach, and as you guys get about probably 30 or 20 to 30 feet away, you guys can see one of the one individual who's wearing this elaborate plate armor, with the in the center of the breastplate. There is a large kind of symbol of Thyla, the Tempest god. Currently, which is kind of like just a kind of like a thunderbolt, kind of going down the center of the breastplate. For Dinok, you'd kind of understand this to be your god Thor. Well, not your god, the god that you would know as Thor. And he kind of just steps, and you guys can see like this large sword on his back, and he kind of just holds his hand out to you guys and just halt. What state your business? Again, he's humanoid. You can see a few scars kind of running on his face. This tough beard on his face as he kind of steps forward in front of everybody else. And Otta kind of steps forward, kind of shaking a little bit, like kind of nervously at first. And because you guys are the only people around at this moment. Like, other than the guards, there's not any other people that you can see within like 120 feet or so. And Otta kind of steps forward and just, we have business in the, he kind of takes a moment and looking at everybody. We have business in the Crown Ward with Mayor Vom, and we have a rite of passage, and he kind of slowly reaches for the parchment that he keeps, at his waist. As you guys know, Otta really does not carry any weapons, and so you notice that the people watching him, they kind of like tense a little bit, and you can kind of see a few of them like grab like the hilt of their swords, like just to be ready, but none of them draw anything. Like I said, Valinar and Cardin would probably notice this. You guys, I believe, have the highest passive perceptions. And he pulls out a piece of paper, and you watch as the heavy plate armored individual kind of lumbers forward and kind of bends down and takes the parchment from him. Kind of opens it, reads over it. Very well, and he hands it back to Ada. You guys are expected to be out by nightfall, as our rules. He turns and just, open the gate! Kind of shouts up to the people behind him, and you guys watch as the individuals on the very top of the wall kind of lean over and to the backside and appear to wave something you can't quite see from the angle. And after a moment, you guys hear what sounds to be the clicking of chains as the doors and open into the royal ward.
How long is it until nightfall?
It's like barely noon at this point,
Okay.
I think.
Waste no time.
So you guys enter into the royal ward. You guys know that you have another ward yet to get into.
Oh,
You
fantastic.
You guys are currently in the royal ward. You need to get into the crown ward.
Fantastic. Okay.
You guys begin entering into the royal ward, and behind you, you can hear the gates kind of close shut behind you. And the difference in the towns here, or in the town here, is drastically different. I would almost say is bad, like almost the difference between the Forgotten district versus like the Common district back in Dagbor.
That is a huge difference.
And it's not like the previous ward was trashy. It was just, this place has immense wealth. While the buildings are not a ton, not a lot of them are overtly tall or obscenely tall, but they are decorated to the point where they are almost gaudy in gold and silver, within like shop signs, within people, general houses. You can see like windows that are made of stained glass, and
Ooh.
it's not in a temple, it's like homes that have a stained glass window of different iconography. I can't say that word. And different kinds of-
Iconography.
Thank you. Yes, that one. Can't speak. And it is, the wealth here is just overwhelming. The people here are dressed in a very similar fashion. Most people wear some kind of robe or tunic that seems to be crafted of a very fine silk, and they have a very heavy, like gold or platinum colored embroidery kind of going along the edges.
Would I recognize any of this as similar to my father's handiwork?
It is not your father's work, but it is if this was all from a singular family or a singular producer, if that was the case, they would very, very likely be your father's biggest business competitor.
I see.
And we're not talking like, you know, like Verizon and AT&T, where they're not really worried about one another. This is like
Microsoft and Apple.
I mean, they're not really worried about one another either. This would be like the difference of like a few, like if like a town, say, back home, were decided to switch shops from, like, say, your father's to theirs, it could very well put him under. In terms of, like, they would just overtake him in terms of, like, availability of location and stuff, because they'd be making more money at that point.
So in other words, it rivals my father's business.
Yeah, it very well would. Again,
Gotcha.
you can't tell if it's one family that makes this, as you literally have just walked into this area, but if it was, damn.
Yeah, damn indeed.
So, but the individuals kind of take note of you. There are a few people that tend to like turn their nose up at you guys based off of how you're dressed. Even you, Katya, some of them turn their nose up at you, even though you are easily the most finer dressed of all of your companions.
I return the favor.
But as your clothes at this point are tattered in places, they have some holes in different places, burn marks and tears, as they have not been repaired in a close to a month at this point. They are, now that you realize this, they are kind of tattered in places. And it's...
There's not a whole lot I could do about it without my father's business.
Yeah.
Although, I can consider perhaps finding the individual that makes the clothing around here. Or at least a storefront for it. I'll keep that in mind.
As you guys continue through the city streets, the houses here, again, they stay between probably 2 and 3 stories tall in this area, and they don't tend to get really, really large. They tend to stay. You would gather probably a 2 to 3 room per floor kind of establishments. And you do see some places that kind of use the bottom floor as like a store, and then the upper levels seem to be their home. And you guys wander through, you guys see a lot of different kinds of markets here. You guys definitely see like oh god, a fruit market and different kinds of stalls to sell food and purchase food, and as well as just different oddities. At one point in time, you guys think you see somebody who is making and selling glass objects and just in front of a crowd. You guys see some street performers. Not anything dangerous, but a few kind of like city street dancers who are kind of just dancing and doing different kinds of strange circus acts, if you would. And despite them doing this, they still have this elegance to them. Their clothing is that of expense, and their moves seem to be very intentional, as if this was something that was taught to them. That this is something that they do on a regular. The instruments that they play are finely crafted, many of them having gold or some kind of flashy metal involved in the design of, or the shape of the instrument itself might have like gold running through the side. You see a drum that every time the drummer beats on it, there's these strands of like amber that seem to go through the base of the drum itself, and with every strike on the drum, it almost seems to pulse red through those amber veins like a heartbeat.
Ooh. Do I see any tailors in this marketplace? Like any
Make
shop that might be a
perception
tailor? Right on, perception. Oh. Of course not. 12.
12. You don't see any tailor per se at the moment. But eventually, after kind of making your guys' way through some thick crowds, you eventually get to the next wall. This wall standing a little bit higher than the previous wall. The gap in between the walls is much, or between the wall and the building is much smaller. It's maybe 40 feet from the building to the wall itself. And the guards there kind of, a lot of them here seem a little more plump and red in the nose. And the guy who kind of steps out in front of you is this portly human man who doesn't have a helmet on, and he's got like this white mustache that kind of curls slightly, touching his cheek. Slightly balding on the top of his head, but his white hair cut short to kind of grip the side of his head, and he kind of just goes, yes, can I help you? Otto once again kind of goes, we have a rite of passage to the Crown Ward to meet with Von. You can tell that he says this one a little bit more with a little bit more comfort and authority, if you would. And he steps forward and hands the paperwork out. And the individual takes it and kind of reads it. He kind of holds it at arm's length and then pulls a monocule from the inside of his armor and kind of sets it on his eye and just, right this way. Fellows, open the gates. And he kind of turns and begins to slowly make his way towards the gate, tucking the monocle back into his plate. The gates here they're large metal doors that seem to have a carving of like a giant crown almost in the two doors. The crown itself seems to be like platinum, whereas the doors behind it seem to be this very heavy metal. You're not quite sure if it's iron or something else. It might be some kind of steel. And the doors and open for you. You guys stroll in. Excuse me. With the doors behind you. You guys see this next area, and while the royal district was very grand, this ward, the Crown Ward, is massive. You look at these buildings, and probably immediately within the vicinity, the smallest building that you spot is 5 stories tall, with a massive base. The house, the building itself looks to be maybe from one side to the other, maybe 60, 80 feet wide. You're unsure of how deep it runs, but it goes up probably 5 stories with a massive yard and gated in area. It looks like every place here is some kind of mansion.
I understand being wealthy, but this is a bit much.
They have a little too much money.
Can we take their money?
And on every and I
not
will
robbing.
before I have somebody else say before I have all this pipe up. On every gate, there's another crown with a script of some name. You presume. From this distance, I don't believe anybody would be able to read it. Oda kind of speaks up and he goes, they have a lot of money, but these individuals are descendants of the old kings. The kings that ruled these lands when we were before the rise. They are literally the sons and daughters of kings of old.
I'm sorry, but I don't believe that your ancestors are a reason to be rich.
Well,
Just because your great whatever granddaddy was a king doesn't necessarily mean you can be rich.
I can't say that I disagree with you, but there are times when people are steadfast in their ways, but people will adapt one way or another. And he begins to lead you on until you get to at the very center of this ward, and you believe the actual exact center of the town itself. You see a very large tower. You can kind of see that it seems to rise, but you're unsure of where the top ends.
oh wow.
As you look at it from a distance, it looks to be maybe 60, 70 feet tall.
That's it? That doesn't sound very tall.
I mean, that's between 6 and 7 stories. And as you kind of get to the base of it and look up, it seems to go much further than that.
Ah, okay, there we go.
From the base, it seems to reach to the hundreds of feet.
So, what do you think is at the top of the tower?
If it's anything like Hofkeen, any number of things.
Such as?
Well, Hofkeen had several different, almost, states in each tower. You could have an entire what's what I'm looking for? And he just goes silent and just stares at the building and thinks. I'm sorry, my brain's not working, so I've got to lure that out.
You're trying to say, like, you could fit an entire city in a tower?
Yes, of a sort.
Or maybe they were just trying to reach the heavens so they could actually talk to the god.
I doubt that. Maybe they think they are the gods.
Well, somehow I doubt that one.
Otto kind of
Anyway.
channels up and goes, well, there's an old legend that one of the kings of old imprisoned a dragon at the top of this tower. And that they built the city around it, using the dragon
Ha.
as a deterrent. But nobody's
Ha.
ever seen the dragon, and nobody's been to the top, so it's just a legend.
Okay,
And we'll
before we
probably never get
continue
to see
on,
the top either.
before we continue on, I know where you're getting that one from.
You do? I don't know where I'm getting that one from, so...
That's the whole point of Whiterun and Skyrim.
Oh!
Dragon's Reach.
Yeah.
Huh.
They built Dragon's Reach around Numenex.
Interesting. Yeah, totally going for that.
Absolutely.
Very convincing.
Yeah, anyway, Otta kind of walks to the base of the tower, and you see no guards, but an odd-shaped door.
Ooh,
It
maybe there
stands
isn't a
out
top to the
against-
tower. Maybe they just build another story every time a new king comes in.
The door itself stands out probably the most among this area, as it is what you would expect to find on a local tavern door. It is a wooden door standing out kind of against this almost white marble-like tower. And he kind of walks up to it and just... And takes a moment, but the door eventually kind of... Not as kind of like... well, I guess we're invited in. He kind of pushes the door open more, and you don't see anybody on the inside.
Anyone else think this is kind of creepy?
Ninok shrugs as he walks inside.
Okay. The interior is lit. As you kind of first step in, you walk into a very comfortable threshold, like a home of a individual. There's places to sit. There's a fire kind of going off onto the side. There seems to be tables with light food and drink. But that seems to be the only thing you can see in this room at the moment, and you see no other doors than the one that you are currently entering from. And as you guys all kind of come into this space, the door closes behind you.
Hey.
Okay. So no stairs.
You don't see any stairs.
Back
And no
to the
doors.
hole. Is anyone else creeped out?
What happens if we go back out through the door we came in? Can I try?
You go to open the door behind that you guys came in through.
Sure. Just to check it
Okay.
out.
You go and you grab the doorknob and you open the door and you're staring at the brick wall.
What?
You open the door, and on the other side of the door frame, you see the white marble stone of the tower.
Perfect.
What? Okay.
You reach kind of and place your hand against the stone, and you can feel the coldness of the stone pressing against your flesh.
Okay, I guess we're stuck here until the meeting's over.
Otto's kind of like, oh, I'm gonna need a drink, and he kind of walks over to where the places to sit are, and he kind of sits down, and you can kind of see him grab like this vase, and he kind of looks at it, and pours what appears to be a glass of wine.
Wine, you say? No. I probably shouldn't go drinking right now.
What it
Just
appears
make a
to
fool
be.
of myself.
Otto's like,
I mean,
but I guess we'll wait.
But do they have a carafe of water?
Do you walk over and look?
Yes.
Okay. You walk over, and there are probably 2 or 3 different vases here. As you look into the different vases, all 3 appear to be empty.
What? What is this trickery?
Otto sipping his wine. Magic.
I'm gonna
and
take...
Enoch just nods and pours himself a glass.
Okay. What do you pour your glass? What are you intending to pour yourself a glass of?
I just think light wine.
Light wine. Okay. You pour yourself a light, flavorful wine as it pours from one of these vases. Rona, you watch as Enoch walks up, picks up one of the empty vases, and begins to pour a light wine from it. Probably a light reddish color.
What?
It's a party trick, basically.
So after Enoch finishes pouring, and I assume he puts the vase back down, I'm gonna pick up that vase and look inside again.
Okay, you look inside, it's still empty.
And while still looking at it, I'm going to turn it upside down over my head, like, what is going on with this?
You turn it upside down, thinking about the vase, nothing comes out.
Well, how am I supposed to get new water like this?
So then, okay.
You say water.
question.
You say water as you're kind of looking into the vase upside down, and you
Yes.
immediately are met with a rush of cold water hitting you in the face.
Oh!
Well, you
Oh, that's how it works.
Cardin
That's
focuses on
that's
this
how it
thing.
works.
Cardin focuses on it, and when Kadia stops thinking about water, Cardin automatically starts thinking about water.
Okay. You think about water.
I think about water.
Yes.
Bellamont wants to try and pour himself a cup of hot chocolate from it.
You go to pour a glass of hot chocolate. Better roll for this one.
Okay.
Okay. Well, it's basically I'm rolling for have they thought of adding this to the quote-unquote enchantment.
Okay. Gotcha.
With a 19, you pour yourself a glass of hot chocolate.
Yes.
Now that I know how this thing works, I'm going to start thinking about healing potion, and I'm going to try pouring that into a cup.
Oh.
Okay. You begin to pour a warm, almost a warm dark brown drink. It appears to have, as it kind of pours, this sense of peppermint seems to wash over you, kind of fill the space immediately around the cup.
Oh. Cool. So it sounds like it worked.
I mean,
Let me
you're
take a taste of
unsure.
it just to be sure. Let me take a taste of it just to be sure.
Okay.
I slightly, like, use a fingernail or something and cut Katia just to see if it works.
Ow! What the hell?
I mean,
Why are
you
you
don't really
scratching
take-
me?
You don't really take any damage from that, but when you drink, as you drink this, it tastes very much like peppermint tea,
Delicious.
and the warm sensation of the tea like almost spreads throughout your entire body, kind of like wildfire. And while it's warm and comforting, there's no apparent signs of immediate healing.
Well, it doesn't hurt to try. So, Katya's gonna pull out the any empty vials that he has in his herbalism kit, and he's gonna scoop some of that into there.
Okay, you're gonna
Robot.
fill it. Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead and add to your inventory one vial and go say peppermint tea for the lack of a better term.
Peppermint tea. Gotcha. I can have it evaluated later. And then I'll finish drinking my cup. Forget the water.
Okay.
This is actually much better anyways.
Okay. A few minutes pass. You guys hear steps, feet descending stairs.
What stairs?
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
come
What
down.
stairs? You see no stairs. You guys begin looking
what?
around, and after a moment, the door, which you had investigated before, Katya, swings open, and you see a human man kind of coming down what seems to be a staircase. The door kind of leads into a staircase going up. And he kind of steps
Katya
out.
spits out a drink of tea. Says, "Wait! How did you get that to work?"
And he kind of steps out. You guys see this middle-aged, probably roughly 40-year-old man who's got a short hair, a thick stubble kind of growing with salt and pepper colors, salt and pepper kind of a color to it, with this kind of short hair. He wears a flowing white shirt that's kind of pinched at the elbow, and kind of a deep V necked kind of a shirt, and a fairly nice looking pair of trousers. And he kind of steps out and closes the door behind him and just, sorry for making you wait. Was in the middle of something. You guys must be the ones traveling with Oda. He kind of turns
Yeah.
to you all. And,
Yes.
well, I welcome you to the city of Taurus. My name is Von Burnham, and I'm very glad to see you all in health. I heard there was a little bit of a mishap in the common ward.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't want to talk about that.
I understand. I'm also under the impression that the individual responsible has been apprehended, let's say.
Oh, he wasn't put to death.
Why do you want to kill this guy? Watch.
He's my bloodthirsty companion.
Don't know what you're talking about. It's called justice.
It's quite all right. We have a
Very
lot
justice.
of this kind in the common ward. But anyway, you guys have a decree from Mayor Zio, is that correct?
Indeed.
I believe so.
Ada, the writ.
Of course, and he kind of pulls out the writ and hands it to Vom, and Vom kind of takes it and goes, "Ah, excellent." Breaks the seal, and you see him kind of sit down on one of the empty chairs near you guys, and as he's kind of unfolding it, kind of pours himself a glass. It appears to be a glass of wine of some nature. He kind of takes it and swirls it for a minute and begins to sip on it as he's reading the information presented by Mayor Zio. And he kind of just, so you all are a long way from home.
You could say that, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's not much we can do, we as the city anyway, but I will be present for his, summons. I'll take the time to do so. It appears to me that you have, a few days before, the summons is to meet. Do you guys have plans to stay in the city, or do you have business elsewhere?
We're staying for a little while, but we do want to get back north before Zio leaves. Mostly just to say we've completed the task, everyone has received the letters, and as far as we know, we'll be there.
Understandable. Is there, anything particular that you guys are hoping to achieve within the town itself? I might be able to, point out some places for you to look.
Ooh. Well, if nobody else is going to speak up. I do have two things now that I would like to look into. First of all, on the way here, I noticed a lot of people wearing very nice clothing, and mine are not as nice as they were when we first arrived here. And I would like to see a tailor that specializes in pride silk or something similar, so that I might get some repairs done.
Right.
Second, I would also like to go to the Crown Library to research a little bit more about magic.
Sorry, I'm trying to remember something. Pride Silk is your father's shenanigans, is it not?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. I was trying to double check.
I don't know, you're the one who told me about Pride Silk, so...
I know, but I was looking for it in your backstory because I figured you'd add it in your backstory, but apparently I figured wrong because I didn't see it when I was quickly scrolling.
Nope. Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm pretty sure it was. At least that's what I'm going to go with, if nothing
It
else.
was crafted by my father, yes.
Yeah. He kind of goes, Pride Silk. I'm unfamiliar with that form of silk. Is that something that's been a new creation lately?
No, it's been around since before I was born. But that's also from where I call home.
Well, that is most likely, unfortunately, a luxury of home and not here.
That's why I said something
in terms
similar.
In terms of a fine craftsman, not sure. Are you looking for something affordable, or are you looking for something of a make in of the royal war?
Oh, as much as I'd like to be able to afford something in the Royal Ward, I highly doubt that I have that kind of money. There was a time where I had that kind of access, but since I've been cut off from my funding, I'm gonna have to search for something a little more affordable, unfortunately.
Then in the common ward, there's a general store known as the Bronze Chariot.
The Bronze Chariot.
That's probably your best bet in the common ward.
What about in the Royal Ward, though? I suppose I could always look.
The Royal Ward, you'll probably want to look at the Fairy and Giants.
The Fairy and Giant. Sounds a lot more.
Is it a pixie giant? Cardin says as he looks over.
Pixie Giant? I believe not. Last I knew, it was ran by a Goliath and his acquaintance, I guess? I don't know for sure. I've never been myself. I have private tailors.
Well, thank you for that. I'll be sure to look into that while we are here. We were told to get out by sundown, so I don't know if we'll all be able to accomplish everything we'd like to.
Well, you have some time yet today. You said you were also wanting to view the Crown Library?
Yes, and my concern is,
I guess
based on
I believe you're looking for the known book, my friend. It's the library here in the Crown Ward, but that would be the only library anyone would be allowed access to.
Right. My only concern, though, is based on what I've heard about its size and its collection of knowledge, the amount of time we have left in the ward today would not be enough to do all the research I find necessary. We do have a few days before we have to leave town, so if I could somehow get, I don't know, written permission to be able to come and go specifically to the library.
Well, you have to understand, we can't just have anyone coming and going from the common ward all the way to the Crown Ward whenever they so please. Perhaps making a decision on whether or not you need to visit the library or the tailors, and in what ward you would need to visit them, and would be a more immediate solution. Now, if you would like to, if you were to happen to say become one of the members of the Crown Ward, you would have unlimited access to the library itself.
I hate to ask, but how does one become a member of the Crown Ward?
Well, you marry into one of the families, of course.
Oh, whoa. I don't know if I could do that. You see, I have my own studies and my own concerns back home. If I settle down here,
Again,
I might not be able.
choices. And that's only if one of the ladies of the houses would even find you a suitable mate.
Ladies.
He kind of like cocks an eyebrow and goes, "Yes, ladies."
The entire party just breaks down laughing.
Katya blushes and then goes back to drinking his drink quietly.
Okay. Is there anything else you guys wish to discuss with Vom?
Is there a good weapon store around?
He takes one look at you and goes, "Not that you could afford."
I don't
Wow.
think any of us can afford anything in this district, guys. Just gonna throw that one out there.
Yeah.
We might be able to all afford a meal if we all chip in all of our money.
Let's go to the common ward then.
You guys can go ahead on that one. I'm going to stop by the library here before I head out. I don't want to pass up that opportunity.
Of course, the library, because if you guys remember, you guys actually did not pass any, you guys were only passing estates on your way to the tower. Hold on one second. Sorry about that, my dogs are beginning to roughhouse downstairs.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, he kind of goes, "Okay, the library then." He kind of gets up out of his seat. Anybody else want to join in?
Actually, I will.
I shrug and say, much as well.
Might as well.
Okay. To the
He
library
probably looks
it
at me
is.
thinking that I don't read, and then is surprised. That I
I think
understand.
everybody is surprised that you can read, Carden.
I know.
Because you're really bad at reading the room. So, he walks over to the door that you saw him walking, that he walked out of before, and he opens it, and it leads to a stairwell leading up. And he goes, "This way, and shut the door behind you, please." And he begins to ascend the stairs.
No, we're leaving now. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Katya finishes his drink. I follow.
You guys begin to follow up the stairs, closing the door behind you. And he walks up the stairs for a little while, and then he arrives at a door, and he goes, "Ah, here we are." And you watch him open the door, opens it, and you watch as the space before you that you would think would lead to the outside of the tower leads into a unfolding library, probably 3 stories high at minimum, with this large foyer area where you see a few people reading at the moment, and you can see a desk and a clerk behind it. A relatively young-looking female elf, and she kind of turns and just goes, Mayor Vom, welcome. Is there anything that you require of us? And he goes, no, just showing some individuals to the library. And she goes, oh, of course. And she kind of looks at you guys, and as you guys kind of wander in, you guys are so down-dressed for this place, even though it's a library.
Wow.
Kadia's
You
probably
guys-
super embarrassed.
You guys can see books on books on books here.
Is this... He has a doorway to the library from his tower?
If you remember, that's the same door we came in from the street.
I know, it's just...
I'm just
So-
gonna assume at the point that door goes everywhere.
I mean, I suppose when you're royalty, you will need to just travel. It's a fast travel sort of system, isn't it? You travel anywhere in the city.
Vom. No, this is where the library is.
Oh.
The tower that you see here is the essentially all of the shops in the Crown Wall. Everything that you would need is within this tower.
Well, that's convenient.
And I do not live here. I simply have an office here. It's where I work.
Okay. But anyways, wow, look at all these books.
Yeah. Alright, so what is it people are wanting to research?
Same deal as last time for me, Calistars.
College stars? Okay. Or are
Kadia's
people
going
just
to...
wanting to find a book and read it?
I'm just gonna waste time reading.
Okay.
Colin's
Anything
gonna try
particular,
and
or
find
just
a book.
whatever you pick up first?
I want to read like local legends and lore,
Okay.
Interesting.
not
And
religious
Carden's gonna
lore,
do what?
but just like
He's going to look at, like, martial arts books.
Okay. And Katya, I'm assuming you're looking up information on the weave.
The weave and magical mishaps. Anything that I could find that might be related to my condition.
Okay. Primarily all going to be related to the weave and stuff like that. So
Yes, and how best to control it.
I am gonna say have everybody go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Oh boy.
I thought you were
I
going
know-
to say initiative, and I was worried.
I know you're not looking for anything particular, Denock. This is mainly just to see what
14
kind
or
of a book you
15.
find.
Carded with a 0.
Kardia with a natural 0.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Did Kardia just lose the ability to read or something?
He lost the ability to find books in a library.
no. You're gonna spend 3 months in a library and you're gonna live by eating pictures.
You
They
know,
call him the book troll.
you know, I don't like it when people joke about that because I literally had to do that once.
I
It
know.
was terrifying. Yeah, Boris, one of my first D&D
Oh.
characters, got lost in a library for 3 months. He survived by eating the pictures out of cookbooks, but because he did that too, he had 3 recipes. Yeah, but because he ate the pictures out of a cookbook too, there were 3 recipes that I could make flawlessly without even a roll.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds
was-
like fun.
It was crazy fun and stupid, and I absolutely loved it. Okay. All right. Well, we'll just kind of we'll get to Cardin in a minute. Alrighty. Well, let me grab my notes on Kalishtar. See how well Valinor did.
I got a 12. I think that's about what I got last time, too.
Likely.
If I can find it. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it's lower than last time.
12. With a 12, there doesn't seem to be any new information that you find.
Yeah, that figures.
Katya, with a 15 in your magical mishaps and the weave, you find tons and tons of stories about magical mishaps that people have had happen to them over their life. None of them really pertaining to what you're currently experiencing, but you find so much research that you kind of find nothing at the same time.
Am I skimming through these books? Did anything happen to catch my eyes in pertaining to waking up in faraway lands?
You find a couple, but they seem to be based more in a fictional kind of a setting. You believe, if it were to be believed to be true, as historical fact, it definitely would have been something that would have occurred thousands and thousands of years ago.
That's not helpful.
No, not really. In terms of the weave, finding any information on the weave, you don't find anything new. You do kind of gather that probably one of the best individuals to even begin to adventure down the path of the weave, to begin to understand it, would be through a conversation with Saitina, the goddess of knowledge.
I have to find a way to commune with a god. Yay.
Certainly could. That's probably the most reliable way of learning more about the weave in a more direct sense. Cardin,
Yeah, I guess my next goal is to
Denock.
my next goal is to find a temple to Saitina, however you pronounce that.
Yeah, I'm going with Saitina.
You're not gonna love that question.
Denock, you find
That sound.
I know. You find a local child story, essentially. At least that's what you would presume it to be. Obviously, you don't really take it real, but you also know that in every myth, there's a little bit of truth. And it writes about a time where dragons flew in the sky. That dragons were one of the most feared creatures to ever roam the earth and the sky. And that...
I nod.
Well, and that very much is true. That is a fact that is not stretched in the least. But where it begins to turn into more of a child's fairy tale kind of a thing is when it begins to talk about how dragons were hunted, not to the point of extinction, but to the point where they realized that they needed to adapt and make peace with the humans, or the mortals, as dragons are sometimes ageless.
How to Train Your Dragon.
And therefore, dragons began to take on the embodiment of various humans and humanoids, and began to mingle with society. And that they became unannounced watchers of the cities that they lived in. And then you get into the details for children who, misbehave and out past curfew, don't listen to their parents, that every now and then one of the evil dragons will snatch them up as their midnight snack. And the child will never be heard or seen from again, Typical kind of scaring your child into obediency kind of a story. It's a fairly pleasant read, while maybe not necessarily the most historically accurate to your knowledge, kind of a thing. You do know that dragons were hunted once upon a time, but in recent years, dragon sightings have been basically non-existent. There have been a few claims of dragon sightings, but when investigated, it just ends up dry. Cardin.
Yes.
You begin wandering through the bookstore, looking for some kind of martial art book, and as you kind of see one, you begin to move kind of towards it, as it's kind of on the top shelf of a book, on the top shelf of a bookshelf, and you kind of move forward, not paying too close of attention, and you accidentally trip on the. We'll call it a rug, because you don't know what a rug is, probably. And you trip, and you end up smacking your head on the edge of the bookshelf and falling unconscious.
I mean, fair. That's a nat 1 -1.
That's not really a nat 1. That's a natural 0.
Yeah.
As you guys begin wrapping up your investigations into the books and stuff, probably after just a couple of hours of being here, you guys begin to gather back downstairs and into the main chambers, where you see Cardin head face first on a rug, just barely off to the side of a bookshelf that has a small smattering of blood, just ever so slightly. For the sake of this, Cardin, you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage. We'll say, as you kind of are just cracked in the head and knocked unconscious. For the sake
How much damage did the bookshelf take?
You don't know.
From that headbutt.
The book, it's still standing. That's what's impressive. But he seems to be passed out on the floor, unconscious at the moment. And you guys kind of just look at him for a moment.
It appears our barbarian lost a fight to a piece of furniture.
Well,
I guess you could say he was trying to dive headfirst into a book.
I look
I
at
would say it was the bookshelf.
I look at Katya and I'm just like, I don't know whether to do the girl meme or the boy meme. Oh well. Boy!
What?
Otto speaks up and goes like, are we gonna leave him here?
Oh, I forgot you were here.
We probably shouldn't.
Well, I'm surprised nobody else has said anything about a random big man laying face first in their library. You know, blood.
I mean, if you were in your
Just a
town and you saw
small,
this,
it's like a very small smattering, and it's just on the corner of the bookshelf. People probably think he just fell asleep.
We should at least check and see if he's breathing.
People that fall asleep in here. You can see the rising and falling of his chest. I mean, that's pretty obvious.
It is? I thought he was face first.
Yeah. Have you never laid on your chest?
Yeah, but I can't see his chest from here. I can see his back.
Yeah, that'll rise, buddy.
I know.
Well, he's just being a dick.
I'm being a dick. It's my job.
No, you're anyway.
The DM shall remember this.
Yes. Always.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of us just ask, please, leave us out of the collateral damage.
They inform you that it's next to nothing, so not worry about it.
No, I'm saying in regards to Rona.
What?
Oh, okay, my bad.
Oh, okay. I see. Is there a way we could get him on a book cart or something? Do they have book carts here?
I mean, you haven't asked. You could also just try to wake him.
Yeah, we'll try that first. We'll carry him if we have to. He is rather heavy, and we're lacking strength since he is our strength.
Ain't that the truth?
Dinok, do you want to do the honors?
I thought you'd never ask.
Now, I have to ask, are you poking him, or are you, like, smacking him?
Poke.
Poke? Okay.
Because
What, you're not using Mage Hand?
He's already put it in the chat.
am.
That's exactly what he's doing.
Okay.
Carden, roll me a d20, just a straight d20 check. And he's sucking now.
anyway.
blind.
Yeah,
3
Oh,
hours later.
I'm here.
Roll a
Roll that
d20.
d20.
D20? Okay. Sorry,
He's unconscious.
I spilled something.
Oh, okay.
Roll a nat 0.
11.
That's actually exactly what you needed to regain consciousness. You get poked in kind of the side of the head, and you're like, as you slowly begin to come back to consciousness.
So, were you trying to do some light reading or light napping?
I was reaching for a book.
You missed.
That doesn't.
And I fell over and smooped the bookshelf.
The impressive part is the bookshelf is still standing.
Honestly, that is impressive.
Do you need help finding your way back out of the library in one piece, or should we just let you walk alone?
I'll just follow you,
You
guys.
do have a pretty killer headache.
I will follow you guys and like get me some aspirin.
Aspirin? What's aspirin?
It's a plant.
That's funny. You would think I would know something about that. Maybe we call it a different name. Maybe we call it a different name where I'm from.
Or maybe it's not indigenous to where you're from.
You
There's
might
no way
call
to
it.
know.
You might call it a weed. Or something, maybe.
Silence.
Just silence. Like I don't have a response for that.
The call got dropped for a second.
I will say that you guys begin to gather yourselves and you head towards the door. Who gets to the door first?
Actually, probably my servant.
I forgot they were here. Wait, nobody knows the skeleton. Wait a minute.
They probably just stood there the entire time. Are you having the servant open the door?
Yes.
Okay. The skeleton opens the door, and you guys see a wall, the marble wall on the other side.
It needs.
The skeleton kind of stands there with the door open, kind of expectingly.
Go ahead.
That's great. Good.
So, I guess we don't have to leave the library then. Maybe we should just stay here
I
all
shut
night.
the door, and then I open it, thinking of the main street.
Okay. As you open it and thinking of that, you actually see immediately upon opening the door, the thoroughfare to the main street.
Whoa. It's magic. It's gotta be magic.
Of course.
No, I thought it was science.
What if it's both?
Science?
You see the
No, this
female
is a
elf
magic
lady
trick.
kind of goes, "Thank you for coming. If you are ever back, make sure you're welcome to come back."
And as we leave, I tell Cardin, no, this is not Magitech, unfortunately. I would
Magitech.
have.
It's not
Yeah,
Magitech.
you would be able to know.
So how much time do we still have before we have to get out of here?
At
What
this
time
point
is
in
it?
time, it's probably it's probably 4 or 5 in the afternoon or evening, I guess.
Ooh.
I say let's go get some dinner.
I really want to visit the tailor, but I don't think I have time for that, sadly.
Or money.
Or the money. Yeah, there's no telling how expensive it would be to repair robes.
Robes that they don't know what they're made out of.
Even more expensive if they had to provide me with a brand new set. Then I
And
might
how
not
much
have-
money do you have?
Not enough for both that and dinner for the next, however long I'm here.
Well, why that? Let's just go have dinner.
Katya's stomach starts to rumble. I guess I don't have a choice.
Alright. Are you guys heading back
I
to
can
the
always-
common ward for that then?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I can always check out the general store in the common ward.
Okay. Are you guys heading to the nightcap or the homebrew?
Who wants
You
to
know
try
what?
out the homebrew?
Yeah.
You guys want to go to the homebrew?
The
Yeah.
homebrew.
Sure.
Okay. for the sake of expediency, you guys are let out of the Crown and the Royal Ward and begin to make your way back to the Common Ward, searching for the homebrew establishment. And I think this here is a good place to take a break, as we are about halfway through. So I think we're gonna just take a real quick break here, just to kind of refill our drinks, grab a bite to eat if we need to, etc., etc. So bear with us through all of this, guys. We'll be back in like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, hopefully. So be right back, guys. Alright, guys, thank you for bearing with us through that short, slightly longer than, it was a short break. It was a short break.
Yeah.
We are back. The party has made their way back to the Common Ward and have found the homebrew establishment. Upon walking into the small bar, you immediately see that this place is pretty packed. You see a human male behind the bar, I believe who somebody got the name earlier from Oda. This is Samson. He is the owner of the establishment. He is your barkeep. And you see a
Does
kind
he
of
have long hair?
He does not actually. He does not. He's kind of think of like a typical farmer individual. That's kind of what he looks like. Tan, kind of shorter cut hair, farm boy strength. Kind of built like a small tractor. And you can see a young lady kind of in the back appears to be preparing food. You can see that she's got some long brown hair pulled into a ponytail or a bun back there, but you can kind of just see her through a window.
Does her name happen to be Delilah?
You don't know. Sorry, you don't know.
Hey there, Delilah.
Yes, we know that. We all know. But you guys enter, and you guys can see that they're both hard at work. You guys stand for a few minutes before a table becomes available to you guys, where you guys actually are able to sit.
I claim this table in the name of my party.
You guys sit down, and you actually see kind of a brown-haired young boy, I guess you would say. He's probably closer to the age of like 14, though. He kind of comes over and goes, "Welcome to the homebrew. What can we get you guys started to drink tonight? We have everything on tap and some specialty items that my father brews. It's all good. What do you want?"
It's all good, you say?
Well, if it's all good, then surprise me.
Okay,
I'm with him.
Surprise. So one of these 2 surprises.
Do you serve dinner as well?
We do. We have various cuts of meats. We do an all day, whatever you want kind of a thing. So it's, if you wanted eggs, we can make you eggs. But as of right now, I believe she's preparing. He kind of like looks back towards the kitchen. It looks to be like like ham slices. It appears, at least at the moment.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! He's gonna do it again.
I'm already starting hungry again.
Do you by chance happen to have grilled cactus?
Grilled cactus.
Are you referring to that planet that doesn't exist again?
Perhaps.
Sorry, I gotta look at my map now. No, they do not.
Oh, it was worth a
Look,
try.
it's been a little while since I've looked at the map for this world. Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember if this particular island had a desert on it. It does not. So
Oh,
no
so
cactus.
he's probably like, "What is a cactus?"
Yeah, he's very much like, I'm not sure what a cactus is, but I'm gonna say we don't have it.
Don't worry about it. He's delusional. It doesn't actually exist.
Right.
So say you.
Okay.
Well, bring me something green. I want something green. Preferably not spoiled meat, though. If it's spoiled meat that's green, don't bring me that. That's disgusting.
Alright, something green. Okay.
I thought I was just gonna stick to the whole surprise me.
For the meal as well.
Yes.
Okay, surprise plate. Got it.
Do you have food?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Do you have any stew today?
Stew. Oh, excuse me. Hold on one second here.
That was weird. I just got a brief whiff of like some kind of meat stew. Whoa. Just momentarily. I don't understand.
Surprise.
Clearly. Sometimes life is weird like that.
Sorry, I'm taking orders. I don't. I don't believe so. She could probably put some on if you are.
No, that's fine.
Stew. Okay. He kind of like looks at you and like you can kind of see that he's got a little bit of a. I guess glint in his eye for you, in a sense. Not in like a like hello there handsome kind of a way, but more of like, oh my god, it's a dragon person.
Cool, man.
Yeah, basically. He's basically a 14-year-old at like some kind of like concert or whatever, and you're the guy that's performing the concert.
I will have
Is it Dance
some
of
of
the
that
Dead?
ham then,
Ham? Okay.
and make it rare.
Rare, okay.
Rare ham. That sounds like it would be hard to find.
No, it's just how it's cooked, sir. You just,
Oop.
I didn't mean that as a joke. What's so special about rare ham?
It's just the way that it's cooked, sir. It's basically just slapped on the grill long enough to warm it. It's not.
Ugh. Ugh. That doesn't sound
You
really
think it well
delicious. to me.
done?
I prefer it
Right.
prepared, like, so it's edible and doesn't make you sick.
I think I've gotten sick less from meat than I have green food.
Horns.
Carden agrees.
Above game, yes. No lie about that.
Alright. So I have 2 surprise drinks, a surprise plate, 1 rare ham, and 1 green thing.
We'll also have. What would you say is one of your nicer ale?
Ales? Probably our honeycraft.
I'll have one of those.
Okay, 1 honeycraft.
What whiskeys do you have?
Well, we have the Samson whiskey, which is one of the first drinks our father ever created. It is a bit strong and it is a bit pricey, but it is a very tasty whiskey.
I'll take a glass of that for right now
Okay.
with a meat plate.
Do you want it rare as well?
Not the ham.
Good
Okay,
choice.
So you want the meat plate and not a ham plate, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay.
I like ham, but not rare.
Okay. So that is 2 drinks and 4 drinks. Okay. That is all. Okay. Well then, in that case, I will go ahead and put these in for you guys. Drinks will be out shortly. Food a little bit longer. As you can see, we are a little bit busy, so that'll probably take a little bit longer than everything else. And he kind of hurries off.
It doesn't look that busy here.
The place is packed. You guys had to wait probably 15 minutes to even get a table.
That was sarcasm.
Okay, well, I'm just pointing out a fact for you guys. So, so you guys have a few minutes to kind of talk among yourselves while your food is being acquired.
How much will it cost us?
I'm about to get totals for everybody right now. So while you guys talk, I'm going to calculate that for you.
Okay.
So one question I would like to raise to the group here is, for something as widespread and important as the weave, why does it feel like there's not a whole lot of research that's been done on it and not enough study put down in words on how it actually works?
Garden shrugs.
Well, I didn't expect you to know.
Well, I would assume it's an arcane thing, which means I would really not have any interest in looking into it, and neither would probably most people involved in a temple or church.
Okay, question to DM.
Yeah.
How much does Enoch know of the weave?
Make an Arcana check.
Uh-oh.
That should be Denoch strong suit.
Not with that roll.
Nope.
11.
When you have a +8.
You know that the weave is the magical force in the world that ties pretty much everything that has magic together to the source of origin of magic. What that source of origin is, nobody really knows. You do know that, I would say, just because of your training in history as well, you would know that there are rumors and beliefs that the gods may be the original source of the weave. But if they are not, the gods are the ones that would probably know what that source is. But outside of kind of that, you're not too inclined with it, as most of the time when the weave is kind of brought up, it's most of the time talked about in a religious or kind of a god standpoint, so you kind of duck your head.
Ignore it.
A little bit.
So Valor's way off kilter. That's great.
Maybe it depends on which region you're from.
Maybe.
In your region,
Anyway,
they're like no.
Enoch does say, in response to Valinar's, "It's not for the gods," whole spiel. Well, according to the priest of Keen, it is for the gods. They believe that is where all magic originates from. But no one really knows. It is theory and conjecture. Unfounded theory.
So, if I can't get information from scholarly writings, then I guess I would have to take my chances and try to commune with the gods.
Or at the very least find a high priest willing to talk about it.
That may be difficult. I don't know.
Just a little bit.
Yes, with the connections we're making with the mayors of all these cities, maybe we can get someone to point us in the right direction. That'll be least.
True. And Valinar, who do you think, which god would be the best to commune with in regards to magical matters?
That would probably be... How'd you say her name? Sentia?
Fine. We're picking up every single noise.
Very nice.
What
Yeah.
noise?
Chair creaking.
Oh.
Yeah. Your mic might be a little sensitive. You may want to turn that down just a hair.
Let's try it there.
Better. I mean, we're still hearing it, but
I don't hear it unless he starts talking.
So,
go ahead.
is it Sentia? Is that how you said it?
Yeah.
Sentia?
Yeah.
Scientia.
Scientia.
Sentia?
Knowledge. The god of knowledge. Well, okay.
You mean
Fair enough.
Setchup?
Oh,
You mean Setchup?
No, I mean Sentia.
did you say ketchup?
Setchat.
Says
Shit shot?
Definitely not that one.
I mean, I'm not familiar with the names of gods, but I'm pretty sure that's not one of them.
At this, Enoch just kind of takes one hand and just kind of starts rubbing his temples.
You know, on the topic of magic, guys, there's something that's been kind of bugging me. When we first got here, we were essentially illusioned into a room. Who the hell put an illusion in that room?
That's right.
Why?
Now that you mention it, we went looking around that entire room. It looked like we were just closed off, and I don't remember all the details. I just know one of us found an exit purely by mistake. It would appear.
I think it was Carden who got really angry and threw an axe.
Yes.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we got out.
But still, where did that illusion come from?
Who cast it and how long had it been there?
And why?
And were they connected to why the hell we're here?
You know what we need to do?
Head back there
After-
and investigate.
Exactly. After we have our summit and all is figured out that there's more islands out there. Not that everybody's going to be on the same page about it, I'm sure, because they're all leaders of different cities and nobody ever agrees on things like that. But once we're done, we have nothing else or better to do. We should definitely head back there, find that cave if we can, and investigate a little further.
Remember, it was up a cliff.
That's the rub. I don't know how we're going to get up a cliff. We hardly made it down in one piece.
Yeah, at least I have rope now.
I also seem to remember I've kind of fell, and if it wasn't for y'all catching me, I'd be dead right now.
It Didn't I actually fall?
I think it was.
Yeah, two of you fell. Cardin caught both of you.
I honestly can't remember, so I thought I legit fell, like the final bit.
Yeah, if memory serves, Cardin went down first, had no issue, and then it was Denock who fell in the last quarter or half, I forget how I broke it up, and Cardin caught you. And then Valinar went, and I think he made it all the way down with no issue. And then Katya went down last, and pretty much immediately fell.
Yeah, went to grab for the rope, and down I go.
Yeah, and then Cardin caught her or him as well. So, if memory serves, that was
Y'all
a
should
few
be more
months ago now.
Y'all should
I
be
mean-
more thankful.
That would have.
Denock, you
if
probably
I-
would have lived through the fall, but you would have definitely had multiple broken bones. Katya,
If I
you
had
would
not-
have died.
If I had not been caught, that would have been the shortest character life ever.
No, the shortest character life ever is record walking in the tavern door, trip, 6 damage, wizard. Yeah.
Slipped on an ice cube.
That is really the intro to the story.
Fell on a mushroom.
Walked into a bar, immediately slipped on an ice cube, ended up in the hospital. SpongeBob.
I think my favorite character death is when the character leveled up.
No, my favorite character death is you know it. You know it very well. The halfling.
Oh, the halfling that got super plump and fat and then got eaten by a demonic alligator.
Yes.
Ooh. Wow.
It was
I had-
hilarious.
I had to put down another player character once because they turned on the party.
Nice. Anyway,
Right
we're getting
at
off
the
topic
very
because you guys
final
are
encounter.
talking about all of this information about the world that has been placed around you. You
Lost.
guys are given your drinks. Let's see, Cardin and Valinar, you guys are given your surprise, or no, Cardin, Valinar and Katya.
There we go.
Sorry, I didn't really write it down, and I'm going off of what I remember now. You are given your surprise drinks. Denock, you are given your honeycraft ale, and Cardin, you are given your Samson glass of whiskey. And the boy kind of goes, the food will be out shortly. And he kind of leaves again. The drinks are very good. Your guys' surprise drinks are basically the same thing. And they are almost like a grape ale.
Interesting.
It's very. It's kind of got like this dry taste to it, but yet with a bit of sweetness to it, and it's a little frothy, but not overbearing frothy. It's pretty good. It's, like I said, pretty good. For being a surprise drink anyway. Your honey craft ale is quite literally like an ale with a honey base to it. It is very sweet, and it's actually kind of heavy. Kind of like how beer is heavy, but with none of the like nasty feeling of drinking a beer. It's very tasty, but yet filling. Those of you who drink beer regularly will understand the reference I made there. Your Samson Garden is very strong. It is a very fine whiskey brew. that seems to have some kind of hint of charcoal to it, which adds to its flavor.
Ooh. Charcoal.
So, you guys have a few more minutes before the dinner portion arrives.
Here we
Anything
go.
else you wish to discuss?
Is it strong enough that Cardin has to make a con save after 1?
That depends on how quickly you're drinking it.
Uh-oh.
Cardin's taking his time with it because he
Then
knows
no.
it's going to be expensive.
Then no.
Yeah. Just making sure. Because you never know sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. If you're taking your time with it, no. That is not necessary.
Okay.
I just have to untangle my weave. Just have to untangle my weave. I wish I knew how to do that.
No. If there is nothing else, you guys kind of pass a little bit of time with some idle chit chat and comparing drinks with one another.
The weather's awfully nice out.
Huh?
The weather is awfully nice out.
Yeah, pretty much. You guys are eventually the food and stuff are brought to you guys. Katya, you are presented with basically a salad.
Sweet.
There is no dressing. It is basically a bowl of leaves.
Oh, well, that's fine. I'll just
Like-
take what's left of my grape ale and pour it over the top of it.
Okay.
Flavor.
All right then.
That feels like a waste, but okay.
I'm gonna eat it. It's called flavor.
Denock, your rare ham is cooked to perfection. Obviously, with it being rare, it's a little hard to mess up because they barely have to do anything to it. Due to it being rare, they decided to add a rub to it instead of like drizzling it in any kind of sauce. There is a rub that kind of just kind of lathers and is absorbed in both the fat and the what is remaining of the blood of the meat anyway. And the rub itself is this almost like a hickory barbecue kind of a taste. It's very subtle, but yet it's there to just amplify the taste of the meat. Again, very delicious.
I'm drooling.
Carden, your meat plate comes with various kinds of meats, from ham to chicken to the what looks to be some kind of pork, and it is all cooked well, fairly well done. Probably like a medium well for most things, and some of it is served in a sauce, others of it is kind of served dry or again with some kind of seasoning. So the pork itself is actually served with a thick honey and like barbecue base.
Nom.
The ham itself is served with this honey kind of savoring flavor. It's not like there's honey in it, but it was like it was cooked in a honey kind of base, and you can kind of taste the honey that's in the meat, and with every bite that pops in your mouth, it feels like there's a little bit of honey in every bite.
Yum.
The chicken is cooked. It is not. It's kind of it's not fried or grilled, but more of like a baked chicken. There's no breading to it, but it is cooked to perfection. And again, and this is where the hickory rub is added, and again, just exquisite taste.
No. No.
Let's see. Valinar, your surprise plate comes with a relatively proportioned sized kind of your greens and your meats. So you got your veggies and your starches and your meats. You have these seasoned green beans that are almost like plump and almost pop with like each I guess puncture of the fork. They are very good for being green beans.
Yeah.
I am not a big vegetable person. Sorry.
I am.
You have meats again on your plate. You have kind of like what Cardin has, but a very smaller sized portion of all of that. Like your 3 portions together probably equal about like what he has in ham alone.
Wow.
Gosh.
Well, he doesn't have any veggies with his. Cardin doesn't. So that's where his are made up, where his meal is made up from. Plus, he ordered a meat plate, so it's a little bit more expensive. You also have like some starches. Like there's a baked potato that when you kind of part it, there's already butter and some kind of seasoning already on the inside of the potato, and it looks and smells delicious. It is all very good and very filling. You guys enjoy a very nice meal here in the homebrew bar.
Wait. Katya looks at his salad and then looks up towards the ceiling. And he wants to use message to talk to the DM and say, how come everybody else gets a great description of their food but me?
I'm pretty sure I declared when describing that I am not a big fan of vegetables.
It looks like a bowl of leaves. Thanks.
We got a salad. How do you describe a salad? Literally, you spend more calories eating lettuce than are in it.
You spend more time describing it than there are calories in it, huh?
Well, I'm just saying, like, how do you describe lettuce? It's wet. It's chewy.
No, it's
there is
crunchy. It's got the right amount of crisp and blends well with the plump tomatoes that are scattered
There
about.
are no tomatoes. You literally have.
Well, why the hell
in a
not?
bowl.
Okay.
Because you said something green. You literally have lettuce and like spinach in a bowl, and that is it.
Perfect.
And now you have added your
Sprinkle a little bit of cheese on it.
grape, your grape wine into it. You request cheese?
Yes, a little bit of cheese on the top
Okay.
for flavor.
They bring you some cheese.
Do you request croutons?
So
What's a crouton?
you get some cheese to add to your lettuce and spinach. It tastes good. All of the ingredients are very fresh. They literally shred the cheese in front of you.
Ah, like Olive Garden.
Sure. And after your meal, your bill is brought out. Are you guys paying all on one, or are you wanting to divide it up among everybody paying for their own meal?
So what you're saying is we could either pay individually, or we can have the total bill and then split it 4 ways.
Yeah? What would you guys
Depends.
like to do?
Which one has me paying less in the long run?
You don't know. The
What is the
child is going, will this all be on one or individuals?
Cardin says it will all be on one.
Who's that one?
I think that's only gonna help Carden.
It's funny because I'm looking at the amounts here right now, and I'm sitting here like just, this ought to be interesting.
I'll take my own.
I'll
Not
pay for
fair.
it.
Okay, I guess we're paying for our own.
Okay.
Well, I
separate-
mean,
separate
if you-
thing?
Well, I mean, if Carden wants to pay my bill too, I won't stop him. You don't tell a
No.
barbarian no.
No.
There you do. Alright, so the bill is brought to you guys. Valinar and Dinak, your guys' total both of you is 7 silver pieces.
Oh.
Katya,
Oh, sure.
yours is 6 silver pieces.
Hey.
Carden, your total comes to 1 gold piece and 8 silver pieces.
Yep.
So
Turns out buying the salad was worth it.
2 silver shy of 2 gold pieces there, Carden.
Yep. I just gave him 2 gold pieces as a tip.
Oh,
Okay.
not
So
change.
you gave,
like the
you
change.
gave 2 gold, don't need change. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just easier on Carden's brain.
Yeah, otherwise, you guys otherwise would have ended up paying basically 9.5 silver apiece. If
Throw in
would
some
have gone
copper.
all together.
Throw in some copper.
Yeah, I'm just saying it would have come to 9.5. Would have been your total if you guys all would have gone on one.
Oof.
Yeah, Carden was a little bit expensive.
It's very good.
Oh yeah, you had a lot of food, Carden, too. But to be fair, your drink itself was a gold piece, so
Yeah.
Woo wee.
when you are purchasing a fine wine versus ale, a fine brew of stuff, it's vastly different in cost.
Oh yeah.
Like, I'm just looking at an equipment thing. You can buy a gallon of ale, for the same price as a common pitcher of wine.
A gallon.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Now, granted, my prices are a little bit different, but I base it off of a rough estimate of this table that I'm looking at from the PHB. So,
Based on Carden's drinking abilities, how long would a gallon last?
depends on how much he drinks.
That's what I just said.
I mean, are you trying to bait him into a drinking contest where he drinks an entire gallon of ale?
That wasn't the intention, however, if that is something I can do.
I mean, I really don't think you're gonna need to
Do much.
do a whole lot of convincing.
But I can certainly tell you, if he could
Katya,
probably
get
drink
in a drinking contest with me.
I could
Carden
certainly
looks
tell
so
you,
great, Katya.
you could probably drink a full gallon of ale before I can finish a tankard.
How much are you betting?
I'll bet 10 gold that you can drink a gallon faster than I could drink a tankard.
I'll take that bet.
Alright. Gladly.
Oh.
Okay.
Please tell me what's about to
Well-
happen is what's about to happen.
Yeah, sounds like it. So here's my question: who's paying for the drinks?
Oh. Good point. We pay for our own drinks separate.
Well, it's your idea. You should pay.
Whoa, you told me get into a drinking contest with me, so...
Mm-hmm.
Or we could just split the cost 50-50, as you will probably owe me 10 gold at the end of this.
How about we also add in whoever wins pays for the drinks, or whoever loses pays for the drinks.
There you go.
Whoever loses pays for the drinks.
Yeah. Not whoever wins.
Right.
Sounds to me like Cardin's had a head start.
I have not.
Thought I was gonna mind link with Katia and just ask, "Are you about to do what I think you're about to do?"
Katya responds in a female voice. Oh, believe me, he doesn't know what he just agreed to.
Yeah, no, he really doesn't. Okay. So in order to acquire a gallon of ale and a mug of ale, you're looking at probably a gold and... Well, actually, no, this is from this place, you're looking at 2 silver for a mug, and you're probably looking at probably 3 gold for a gallon. So we'll just say that I'll just kind of keep some numbers written here. You guys are given your respected drinks. They tap the gallon for you, Cardin, so that you can begin drinking. Okay. Cardin, I would like you to make... Oh god, what did I do last time? Was it just checks? I think it was just checks.
I think it was just checks. Wow.
Yeah, I think it was just checks. Cardin, I'm gonna have you go ahead and make, let's see, that'd be, I'm gonna have you go ahead and, roll, I don't want to do a whole lot of these, so go ahead and roll 5, Constitution checks for me.
Oh, damn.
Nat
Well,
20
look at
is
that,
the
nat
first
20.
one.
They're not saves, they're checks.
Oh, they're checks.
Oh.
I will let the natural
There we
20
go.
stand for one, but the other ones I'm not.
Yeah. Normal one, 19. $15,
Okay? 2 more?
22, and 10.
Look at him go. Meanwhile, Katya is very slowly drinking his 1 sip at a time.
Yep.
Okay. He rolled really well, so that does set the DC fairly difficult. Now, my question to you, Katya. Are you planning on letting him win?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
In that case, you do not need to roll. Because you are planning to let him win. Now, Cardin, I need you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
14.
14. Okay. I also need you to make another Constitution saving throw. This one with a disadvantage.
Uh-oh.
10.
Ooh.
Okay.
Oof.
I love it. Cardin. You finish your gallon of ale, and you jump up from your, I don't know. I feel like you were like lying prone or kind of underneath the gallon and just like open hatching it down your gullet.
I was thinking I was like I was thinking I was like sort of like almost beer bonging it or shotgunning it. But yeah, that,
I mean, you're not gonna. You can't shotgun a gallon.
I mean,
Watch him.
fair. That is fair.
Like, I've seen some impressive things. You cannot shotgun a gallon. But you jump up and you're like, "Woohoo! I won!" You are very intoxicated, and as you jump up and everything kind of rises and falls, it begins to rise again as you vomit all over the floor and table.
Can I aim for Katia?
No.
Can I roll something to see like
I mean,
if I actually hit
to
somebody?
be completely fair, hey, I'm on the wrong music, and that's my own fault. You are looking in her or their general direction, so they will be hit by splash regardless of what you were gonna do.
I want a dexterity save.
Sure, disadvantage as you're not expecting him to throw up.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't think that 9's gonna be fast
9.
enough.
I'm gonna say no.
Ah!
It's not like directly on you, but you are getting like little chunks here and there.
Ew.
But I also believe everyone at your table is, as he kind of just onto the table, and it just kind of splashes everywhere.
Well, congratulations. You won the drinking contest. Now, pay me my 10 gold.
Are you trying to deceive him into the fact that
No.
No.
The wording,
No.
and Denoch, who was present, should be able to tell you. The wording was, I bet that he could drink that gallon before I finish my tankard.
that is fair?
Karin is going to actually try and deceive Katia. I say, no, it was... No.
It was a race.
the opposite direction. It was the opposite direction.
It was race. Go ahead and make a deception check because you're drunk. It's at disadvantage.
Yeah. Four.
Yeah,
What am I rolling?
Roll
Just to make
insight, I guess.
Sounds good to me.
We'll say
Nat
insight.
1.
I think my 13 will beat that.
Yeah. You're not having it. Even
Nice-
technically a
nice
nat
try.
one would be higher than a 4. For him
Yeah.
anyway.
Nice try, Cardin, but I'm not the one who's overly tipsy here. You're gonna have to try harder than that. Now, I do believe you.
I think that.
What?
You shot. Are you sure?
Ah.
I thought he was saying have a shot.
I do believe you owe me 10 gold.
I do believe you owed me 10 gold.
And you also had to pay for the drinks. So
No,
thank
you
you for
have
the
to
one.
pay for the drinks. The way we worded it was the loser would pay for the drinks.
Yeah, you are right about that. But you still owe me 10 gold.
Cardin, he's like, I don't have coin pouch.
What? Where's your coin pouch?
Right here, and I hold it up.
Oh my god.
Perhaps I should be the one counting the coins, or one of our party members here should do it, since you are too drunk to to even remember what was said.
I hand my coin pouch to my other hand and say, "This is a different party." And then I proceed to try and count out 10 gold coins.
Oh no.
Oh no!
You all know it's gonna be counting with him.
Make an intelligence check.
Disadvantage. 2. Cardin pulls out 1 coin.
No, you
pull
pull
out
out 30.
Oh.
So I'm gonna say what you do is you just dump the bag onto the table, and you watch as your money kind of onto the table. You go,
Oops.
like you just place your hand on a bunch and slide it across the table. There you go. You slide across 14 gold pieces.
You know what? I'm not gonna say anything. I'll just pocket it.
Valinor,
And then
you
I'll-
said you were watching, so you are seeing that he does. He kind of slides it across, and you can kind of see that there's like 14 there. And you watch now as he begins to try to like put some of the coins back into the bag.
I believe the bet was for 10, not 14.
Well, I mean, you gotta pay for the drinks, you know?
Yeah, which the loser was paying for the drinks.
Exactly. Well, he handed me the coins, so I could pay as the loser.
That's not really
No.
how that works.
No. I love how we're all being like super stingy with our money.
That's fine. I take 4 of the coins and I put them back in his pile.
Okay.
Now, how much
So
were
you
those
can
drinks
add,
again?
You can add 10 to your inventory, but then you need a minus
Okay.
3 gold and 2 silver pieces.
Gotcha.
So you can
Gold
add 4
and-
gold back to your total there.
How many silver pieces?
2.
2. Okay. Oh god, I can't do math now.
Curse you, math!
Ah.
And by the way, the reason why you had that throw up is because the ale you guys purchased is the honey ale, which
Oh.
is thick. The honey that stuff is thick, and you had already had a really big meal before, so
Yeah.
good luck. So, also, I did the math and stuff like on that one, Katya. Because of how well he rolled, you would have had to have rolled an 18 or higher on a Constitution check to beat him.
Ooh,
Even
Lord.
with even for your single glass.
Oh man.
Yeah, he rolled,
Can
Just for shits and giggles, I didn't do it.
oh man.
Carding
I don't-
can down it when he
I saw.
So, anyway,
But he'd be intoxicated as crap right now.
yeah, which you are. So,
Oh, I'd like to point out, since he did throw up all over the table, he just dumped his coins in that.
yep, and you took it and put it in your wallet.
Oh, shit. I wasn't even thinking. Oh. Gross. Wasn't even thinking about that. Oh well. They're already in my pouch now.
Yep. In a couple days, they'll begin to smell awful.
Mm-hmm. You see me by a river. Or the first time I enter a store, I'm like...
God, this...
Oh, that's gonna be great when I visit the tailor tomorrow.
Oh, for sure.
I'm gonna forget all about it.
Bastard. You'll probably forget this even happened. You'll just open up your
Possible.
phone pouch, go, what the?
Oh, what is that smell? Oh, no.
Alright. And with that, you guys eventually find your way back across the street to the nightcap, to the inn, where you guys have already procured rooms, I believe, for the evening. I believe Auta did that. Either that or you guys did that at lunchtime. I think. I don't remember. We'll say you guys have already procured rooms at the nightcap, the local inn in the common ward. And you guys eventually find your way to sleep.
Sweet.
Sleeps like a freaking.
Night takes you guys, and you guys eventually find your way sleeping. Valinar.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh boy.
I would like everybody else to kind of mute
Mute.
themselves
Oh,
and
boy.
be quiet for a moment. Just to
Going
not
dark.
interrupt. Thank you.
If it makes a difference, I am immune to the spell Dream.
I know. I'm well aware.
Okay. Okay.
Unfortunately, this is something that your Kalishtar
Oh, it's-
knowledge won't prevent.
Okay.
You dream, which is weird. You can't remember the last time you've had a dream. At least not one that's this vivid.
No. Oh.
You're walking down a long hallway. Your boots clacking against the stone floor as you make your way down. You can hear screams in the distance, painful screams, people crying out in pain. And you continue to walk, and you kind of try to move, try to look around and move of your own accord, but you're stuck. As if watching whatever this is from somebody else's point of view, not your own body. At least not that you can tell anyway. You can't look up or down or around to see what exactly is going on, but you just continue to walk down this hallway. Clack, clack, clack. The sounds of your boots echoing around you down the hall as you continue into a small chamber. There, in a small lit room, excuse me, you see two individuals, kind of cloaked darkly, seem to be having an individual kind of in a chair that's bound, pressed backwards. And you can see the individual's hands like clenching and unclenching in pain. Your voice rings out. Although it's not your voice. Feminine. Bring him up. Watch as they pull the individual forward and his head soaked in water that appears, falls forward and just the figure looks up, staring at you. You seen Adio? Seen it? A face that you hadn't seen in a long time.
Oh, Nadon?
Yeah, sorry, Nadon. Wow.
Okay.
I don't have it in front of me. I'm blanking on it. I should probably open that. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. Ah, Nadon. You're right. You kind of breathing heavily. And the voice rings out once again. Now that you're hearing it a second time, you almost recognize it. Sounds like Alma? No.
Okay.
Maybe. And you hear her say, "Where is he?" Don't know. Even if I did, I wouldn't tell you. Well, perhaps we'll send you to visit him once more. Do it again. And she turns to leave. Black, as you can hear him.
What the
And the vision falls, and you begin to watch as Palma begins to walk away. Your point of view shifts and turns, and walks opposite of her. You recognize the keep vaguely. You were here briefly during your own imprisonment. Eventually you come to a point where the figure stops and turns and looks into this pail of water, it appears. And the image staring back at you sends a shiver down your spine. The face is nearly identical to your, but there's a number of differences. Eye color, crook of the nose. It's not your father. You know that.
Okay.
Not sure who the individual is, but he is definitely related to you some way.
What the actual?
And the face gets closer and closer to the water and eventually breaks the surface. And you wake up in your room in a sweat. You guys can unmute.
He
Unmute.
wakes up and just shouts, "What the fuck?" What the? Okay. Well, now Valar actually wants to go home.
Like I said, it's still kind of in the middle of the night. It's like maybe 2 or 3 a.m. The moon's still out. Your face is drenched as if having had poured water over it. And you are... Is that somebody?
Was that you, Rona?
Yeah, I guess I was on mute for so long and decided to kick me from the chat.
Okay.
But, okay.
Did you miss anything?
No, I heard the whole dream sequence, and Valinar woke up, and then I think you were about to say something, and then just silence.
Okay. Yeah,
So
basically
it was a few seconds at the end.
Yeah, he woke up, and his head is covered in sweat, as if he had just been dunked in water.
Okay, yeah.
You are
Valinar's not
alone in your room, roughly 3 or 4 a.m.
Valinar's gonna step out and he's gonna go see if they're still serving.
At this hour, no.
Dang it.
Makes his own.
Yeah, it is. It is very late at night or very early in the morning, depending on what way you would like to view it.
You know, Valinor doesn't go back to sleep after
Yeah,
that.
I imagine not.
Quit it, Rona. You're making me yawn.
I'm sorry. My eyes are watering too. Ugh.
I would say, though, you would still manage to gain the benefits of a long rest just based off of the time that you probably would have gone to bed. You probably would have just barely squeaked that out, though.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you are very confused and unsure of what just happened.
Ooh.
Do you go back to your room at all, or do you just kind of stay?
He'll probably go outside and just watch the stars.
Okay. Fairly easy enough to do. There are a couple places in town that you can do that from. It's not terribly difficult, as most light is done by fire. So,
And that's where he'll stay until the sun's up.
A few hours later, the sun does begin to rise, and eventually you guys, the rest of the party, begins to stir for the morning. I'm gonna say Cardin does not, but the rest of you do. As when the sun rises, do you head back to the tavern, Valinar?
Once the sun's up, yeah.
Okay. As you guys descend the stairs, you can already see Valinar sitting at a table. Probably still a little perturbed. Even after having a few hours to think about it. I will say, Dinok and Katya, when you walk down, you see this.
I know that look.
Dinok, as you kind of look up once again, you see a looming shadow figure behind Valinar.
I actually saying this out loud. At this point, that's not a startling sight, that figure again.
You're still going on about that?
It's still there. Question, is it the same location, or is it closer to?
It's still kind of just over slightly over his left shoulder, kind of like looking down at him a little bit. Kind of the same location. It kind of just follows him. It doesn't really do a whole lot other than just kind of follow and watch.
I'm going to reach out and try
and what?
Touch it.
You kind of extend your hand to the space that it is, and you can watch your hand as it passes through it, and your hand does become chilled.
Does it have the same energy as my necromantic spells?
Make an Arcana check.
Here we go. Good.
Gesundheit again.
Oh no. I'm allergic to this. Ugh.
Did you make an Arcana check?
Yeah, I didn't hear you say Arcana check.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, if you want to see if it's related to your necromantic spells, go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
Might be a double click.
Natural 20.
There's the
There's another
second
one.
click.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll let the natural 20 stand, because that was the first roll. Part of it does. A part of it has a necromantic tether to it. You're not sure what like the spell and stuff might be, but with that kind of a check, you have a feeling that this shadow is some individual's soul that is tethered
Okay.
between Valinor and another point in this world. And you don't know where that would be, though.
Laura's gonna speak up and go, "What is it still there?"
Yes.
Well, it's back. Remember, it disappears and then doesn't return until occasionally the next morning.
Yes, it's here again. It may have a base in necromantic magic, though what it would be, I'm not sure. I would need to look into this.
What did you
And
say
I
it looked
believe-
like again?
It is
a humanoid figure. A humanoid figure. There is a square. Question to the DM: square of light or just square?
It's like a white square, kind of like where the collarbones meet.
Yes, but is it a white light or is it a white shadow?
It
Ooh.
appears to be like the color white, not necessarily a light or a shadow of any kind. It just seems to be like the color.
So if the rest of the figure is a black smoke, this is a white smoke, is what I'm
Yeah.
trying to get at.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it,
There
and
is a-
it
So I do say that.
Otherwise, it has. Yeah. Otherwise, I was gonna say it also has like what appears to be some kind of glasses that it on its face. You're not sure if it's like sunglasses or readers or what. You can just
Anyways.
see the frames.
What I say is, if the body is black smoke, there is a patch of white smoke on its collarbone, actually. Another particular thing. Do you know anyone who wears glasses of some kind?
Is the shadow still there?
At the moment, yeah.
I was gonna turn. Can I go? Where is it at right now?
And I put my hand like on it near its shoulder. Here's its left shoulder.
Okay, Valor's gonna kind of estimate as to where the head is to try and look it in the eye and just go, "Who the fuck are you, and why the fuck are you trying to find me?"
Oh my.
I think you two are nuts. I still don't see anything. How come I can't see it?
I can't see it either. That's why I asked where it was.
Oh.
Denock, make an insight check.
Ooh. Insight.
Ooh, whoop.
18. The creature kind of recoils, almost hurt.
Oh,
Whatever
And you-
you said, it did not like that, and I'm not talking about aggressive. It
Oh, you
think you
you
hurt his
offended?
feelings.
You offended an imaginary creature. Congratulations.
Is there anything you want to say to that, Valinar? Sorry.
Trying to think how to word it, or how Valinor would word it.
Okay.
I don't know why you want to find me, but I'll tell you right now. Nadon doesn't know where I am.
Who?
I don't even know where I am.
Who doesn't?
Nadon.
Who?
Oh, Nadon.
Yeah, Father Nadon.
Okay. Dinak, you watch as the figure kind of reaches out a shadowy hand and places the hand kind of palm first, kind of fingers overlapping the kind of the skull as the palm connects with the forehead of Valinar, with the rest of the hand being placed on top. Valinar, you feel this chilling touch at the front of your head and face and kind of on the top of your head. And you
It just put its hand on you.
You hear
And
a very quick word.
okay.
Run. You hear run. And the voice is that of Nadon's. And Dinak, you watch as the shadow begins to
What?
dissolve and vanish. The cold
How's it
sensation
going?
fades.
Well, that wasn't what I expected at all.
I missed that because Discord decided now's a good time to stop working. I heard something about you feel a chilling.
He heard the shadow say "run" in Nadon's voice.
Oh. Okay.
Which I believe, for Valinar, was the last words Nadon said to him before they parted as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I hear it?
No, you guys heard nothing. Well, none of you would have heard anything. That would have been Valinar. It almost felt like a mind link connection, but it was definitely, but it was only possible due to that contact. You think?
And it's at that point Valinor just falls.
Volna, are you alright?
Yes and no.
Did it do anything? I saw it put its hand on you, and
It
you...
spoke.
Oh. Great.
Oh!
So now this imaginary creature speaks. Fantastic.
Yeah, an imaginary creature that speaks in my mentor's voice. And he's gonna walk out.
And I think that's an
Okay.
excellent place to end the session for the night. It is 9 o'clock. Or 12 o'clock. Oh my god.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. What?
Time to start, guys.
It's been a 3-hour thing. It's been a day, guys. I just think that is an appropriate place to end. With
Sounds good.
Valinar walking away. And Carden fast asleep.
Straight asleep.
Yeah. So ta-da!
God damn it.
Woo, we got some revelations today.
So, yeah, lots of things going on and coming up. I am excited. I am so wasn't super prepared for some of that. I wasn't sure what was gonna happen. Yeah, and then fucking Nadon over here with a natural 20 for connection. Fuck. Oh, I was expecting this to go on for a few more days before anything kind of connected together. But you offended him, which was a way of getting his attention for him to try something desperate. And so he tried to make contact, and he rolled a natural 20 for it. So
I would like to point out Valinor only did that because he thought the shadow was the other guy. He saw in the dream or whatever.
yeah. No, I have plans for lots of things, and
Oh
you
god.
have yet to discover some of the information. So Valinor is definitely confused.
I love how we're getting like things for everyone else's story.
Bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, don't worry. I have stuff for yours as well. The problem is we just haven't had an opportunity to introduce it yet.
Uh-oh.
Oh, considering the actual backstory,
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely themes, but like, I don't see it happening for a while.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, that is yeah, that was a lot of fun.
A lot of my characters, actually.
With that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up here for the evening, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by and joining the stream. We will be back next Friday with another episode of this, and to figure out what is going on. Maybe we'll play that one by ear, kind of, and yeah, we're excited for that. Once again, not really sure on streams and stuff like that, so follow me on Twitter for information about that. I'll make announcements as I plan to do streams and shenanigans like that. Otherwise, we'll be back next Friday, with some more D&D.
Oh yeah.
If you've missed any videos, you can check them out over on the Big Ripper YouTube channel, and that's really all that I have to announce. So with that, guys, we're going to go ahead and head out for the night. Thank you guys again so much for stopping by, and we really appreciate it. Just continue to show the support that you guys have been showing. It's been awesome. So thank you guys, and have a good night. Enjoy the holiday weekend.
Oh yeah.
Happy holidays.
To our viewers, see you next week.
Happy first
Bye.
holiday.